Alright, fingers. Got everything from Sculptio a couple days ago. Everything printed great. Already done a couple of fingers here. Everything fits. So I think it's ready to go. Now you'll need a couple of tools here. You'll need a number 1 Phillips screwdriver. You'll need a pair of flush cutters, and that's for cutting the pieces apart and for trimming the ends of the wire. You can get these at craft section at Walmart, fairly cheap, or any hardware store. Of course, you'll need your screws, small screws, to put this together. Now, what I recommend here to do at first is you want to snip off all your end caps first, so you can go ahead and make up your wires. And I highly recommend that you leave these all together like this, and then just do them one at a time. Cut them apart one at a time as you do them. That way you won't get your pieces all mixed up. So that said, let's do a finger. Okay, so you want to use your flush cutters to cut the individual pieces apart. Try to do this with my gloves on. It's going to be easy. But put the flat side of the flush cutters up against your part. Cut. That little piece off. Okay, so you want to put your thin spacer on and push it up against the cap, and then you want to It helps if you get the screw started first on these before you put them on. Right, for the second section, use this thin spacer again. And you'll find this be a little easier if you start the screws in these pieces first. That way you don't have to fiddle with it so much. So you just slide that on until it's up against the spacer. Now after you get it screwed in a little bit, it's easier to just pick it up. So you can hold on to it and then screw it in the rest of the way. Make sure it's all the way down. Now for the last section, you want to use the thick spacer. And then the part that goes into the palm plate has the round ball type end on it. So you can tell that by looking at that. And same thing. You want to make sure these are all flat down so that they're oriented right. I guess I should have started that first. Difficult to do with gloves on. Make sure it's flat. Screw it in a little bit and pick it up. And screw it in the rest of the way. And there you have the finger. Oh, one last thing to do. You just cut the excess off with your flush cutters, and it's finished. There's a finger. Okay, let's see how this fits. You need to go all the way in so that the little holes, screw holes, line up. Looks good. Alright, so this is what it looks like when it's all finished. You need to make sure that that all these go all the way in into the palm plate. Now they fit pretty snug, so you may need to sand them just a little bit if they don't go in all the way, or if they're a little too tight. But my sample here fit pretty well. You just need to make sure that they look just like this. You know, give it a sample fitting before you actually install it in your doll, just to make sure that you don't need to screw them down, but just make sure they go in all the way, so it looks just like this. Alright, so that's it. Hope that was helpful. Thanks a lot.